Hallo meine Freunde und willkommen zurück in der weiteren Folge Genshin Impact. Ja, wir hatten jetzt einen erfolgreichen Kampf gegen das berühmte Schwert der Ishino-Schule. Und dieses Schwert wurde in Schnellsnaya geschmiedet. Das war gerade das Wort, das ich gesucht habe. Und von dort das ist ja das Reich der Fatuis, Leute. Also der kam wirklich von ganz schön weit her. Holy moly. Wenn man darüber nachdenkt, dass die Fatuis und so alles und ihr Reich mit Zarin erst im sechsten Akt ist, das ist ganz schön lang. Sorry, meine Freunde. Na dann, ich würde sagen, wir machen mit der Story von Kazuha weiter. Let's go.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Ah, all right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
Okay, meine Freunde. Oh. Das ist ganz schön weit oben. Ich würde sagen, wir teleportieren uns mal nachher nach oben da. Zu Mikos Basis. Also ihr Baum da. Wir müssen dorthin. Länger an den Ort des Schwerttestes. Testens. Mein Deutsch schon wieder, Leute. Ist wieder Ast rein. Habe ich das schon erwähnt? Ja, ne? Okay. Kazuha hat auf jeden Fall jetzt das Schwert gerade in seinem Besitz. Und, aus irgendeinem Grund will er Kazuhas Körper benutzen, weil er Raiden Shoguns mächtigster Angriff geblockt hat. Also ihren. Besser gesagt, das hier, Leute. Ich hab sogar die ultra erwähnt, das hier. Weil er das geblockt hat von ihr. Interessant, ne? Ja, wird interessant. Na dann, meine Freunde. Betreten wir den Altar. Let's go. Ich bin gespannt. Er hat dieses Schwert. Oh, also ich muss schon zugehen, Leute, das Schwert sieht schon...
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Ganz kurz. Basis-Damage AG. Oh. Interessante Waffe. Also die Waffe sieht schon nice aus eigentlich, ne? Aber wir sind nur Kazuha.
Time to go. Let's get down to business. The wind knows me. One with nature. Time to go.
Ach du Scheiße, noch mehr Gegner. Wir sind nur Kazuha, Leute.
Clouds high. The birds call. The wind knows me.
Okay.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Die Musik, Leute. Oh, stimmt ja. Truhen. Wir müssen Truhen checken. Völlig vergessen, wir sind ja wieder in einem Dungeon drin. Das habe ich wieder... Ey, das ist, dass ich ja voll vergessen habe, Leute. Da kann man sehen, dass ich schon wieder... Na gut, wir müssen immer alles abchecken jetzt hier. Wir sind gerade über eine Truhe, zum Beispiel gerade haben wir gerade geöffnet. Hier ist scheinbar auch keine Truhe gewesen. Okay, ich nehme mit meinem Husten, ist ja wieder ganz delicious. Hallo, meine Freunde. Und da sind die nächsten.
Into the wind. Fine. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. One with nature.
Bam, Alter.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Ame no Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Ich check nach Truhen ab, Leute. Das ist ja auch mal ganz wichtig. Weil, wie habt ihr ja gesehen, bei den Truhen 5 Uhr gestanden haben wir jetzt bekommen davon. Hier drin sind aber keine Truhen, oder? Nee, Gott sei Dank nicht. Okay, dann machen wir uns mal weiter auf den Weg. Keine Truhe hier. Kazuha ist eigentlich auch richtig geil, Leute, ne? Hinterhalt. Mein Damage wird schwächer. Das ist interessant. Dieses Schwert wird wirklich schwächer.
One with nature, as one with wind and cloud. Into the wind.
Okay, down.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Ah, ich habe wieder Kazuhas Schwert.
One with nature.
Naja, mein Freund. Du bist der Letzte, deine anderen zwei sind dead.
The wind knows me. Fallen leaves adorn my night.
Er ist gedodged. Aber jetzt ist er dead. Nice.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, This is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Okay. Es geht ja hier weiter.
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Nemos ist eine Truhe.
Shame it's too late now.
Die habe ich nicht gesehen.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
Perfekt. Wir können auch noch moven. Sehr schön. Wir haben eine Truhe bekommen, Leute. Weitere 5 Urgesteine. Sehr, sehr gut. Gucken wir mal kurz hier. Ob hier irgendwo eine Truhe ist. Man kann ja probieren, um zu gucken. Okay. Na dann.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Eine, weitere. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Eine, weitere as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Eine, weitere and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Okay, meine Freunde, das war's. Da ist auch eine riesenfette Truhe. Sehr schön. Dankeschön. Aber wie es scheint, ist es noch nicht vorbei. Kazuha geht scheinbar doch noch etwas länger, als ich dachte. Holy moly. Wo müssen wir denn jetzt hin? Nach da. Okay. Ja, 5 Minuten haben wir auf jeden Fall noch. Die andere Frage ist, wie lange müssen wir jetzt noch was machen? Und wie lange geht noch Kazuha, ist jetzt die andere Frage. Da kommt jetzt die andere Frage, Leute, soll ich jetzt schon mal... Ich überlege gerade, ob ich jetzt schon mal wieder stoppen soll, und in der nächsten Folge weitermachen. Ich glaube, das ist eine ganz gute Idee. Dann ist es diesmal eine etwas kürzere Folge. Ja, meine Freunde, dann ist es halt so. Kann man jetzt also auch nicht ändern. Kazuha auf jeden Fall sehr interessant. Und das Klee auf jeden Fall auch. Er ist zum Beispiel hier neu. Er hat ja auch das Windelement. Ningguang ist mit da... Ningguang ist mit dabei. Ich weiß halt nicht, ob Ningguang auch bei Yumiya mit dabei ist. Leider. Das weiß ich leider auch nicht. Weil wir wissen ja, Leute, wir wissen ja von unseren Informationen her, dass unsere gute Yumiya in 7 Stunden, also 19 Tagen, 7 Stunden und 32 Minuten erscheinen wird. Sie wird dann auftauchen, die Dame. Und wir wollen ja versuchen, sie zu ziehen. In diesen ganzen Patch. Das wird auch aufgenommen. Ich hatte es auch vor. Und mal schauen, ob wir das Glück haben. Wenn ich natürlich früher 90 Puls kriege mit der Zeit, dann starten wir jetzt schon den Versuch danach. Und mal gucken, ob das dann klappt, ob wir es schaffen, sie zu ziehen. Das ist, wie gesagt, bei 2.8 ist es unser Hauptziel, eine 90 Puls Ziehung hinzukriegen und versuchen, sie zu ziehen. Das Beknackte daran ist, ich habe leider meine 50-50 Chance schon vergeigt. Also schon verballert. Sonst würde ich wissen, dass sie 100% safe ist. Aber so ist es auch spannender und aufregender, bin ich ganz ehrlich. Oh, verdammt.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash.
Ja, da wollte ich das aussehen nicht rein. Aber gut, meine Freunde, dann würde ich sagen, war es das erstmal für heute. Und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Euer Marschu. Ciao, ciao.